Don't be afraid to get butt-ass naked and just flex in the mirror and love your progress.
How often do you do that?
Oh, a lot.
Oliver Hudson is here, talking fitness and his famous fam. And we've got the stories that define the week on People in 10. I'm Andrea Belke, bringing you everything you need to know about pop culture right now. We've got 10 minutes, so let's dive right in with the first 5, starting with a rare interview from Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen.
While speaking about their fashion line, The Row, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen talked about how they were actually raised as really discreet people. So when it comes to designing their collection, the simple aesthetic is the way that they like to go.
They also wanted to be discreet about who really designed their line.
Mary-Kate even said that they didn't really want to be in front of The Row. It even got to the point where they said, who can be in front of this for us, so we don't necessarily have to be.
And behind the scenes, they've been perfectionists for years.
These two have always been hard workers, even going back to their days on Full House.
You got it, dude.
The twins have long left acting, but Mary-Kate even said one of the reasons why they love fashion so much is because it's a way for them to fix their imperfections.
The Row turns 15 this year, but Mary-Kate and Ashley are as focused as ever. They say they're both committed to constantly pushing themselves to evolve and to make sure, quote, everyone is served. Moving on to one of this week's most popular stories on People.com. Below-deck sailing yacht star Dani is breaking her silence about the father of her 2-week-old baby.
He thinks it's not his child, and he doesn't want to have anything to do with it.
Since announcing her pregnancy in April, she has not revealed the father's identity,
which has led to a lot of speculation.
Fans have been wondering whether or not deckhand Jean-Luc is the father.
Let's have sex tonight. And if I get pregnant, that's God's will.
And Andy Cohen is going there during the show's upcoming season 2 reunion.
While answering the question of whether or not Jean-Luc is the father, Dani remains coy and says, well, let's put it this way before the teaser cuts out. What a cliffhanger.
And he's also grilling JL with some hard-hitting questions of his own.
What do you say to that?
It's unclear what Andy's talking about here, but when Jean-Luc replies, you can clearly see he's emotional.
Oh man, you're gonna make me do this now, aren't you?
And in more baby news this week.
We are thrilled to announce that Margot Lane Welker Hughes was born early Saturday morning via surrogate.
Welcome, Margot Lane. NBC's Kristen Welker and her husband, John Hughes, welcomed their first child on June 12th at 2:12 a.m. with baby weighing 8 pounds, 6 ounces.
When you look at Kristen, you know how hard they worked for that moment right there.
The couple struggled with infertility for nearly 3 years and announced during Infertility Awareness Week in April that they were expecting. Now, Kristen calls their daughter the love of their lives and says that seeing her precious face and looking into her eyes had made every minute of their journey to parenthood worth it. And it's not one, but 2 bundles of joy for Bachelor Nation's Ari and Lauren. Their twins, a son and a daughter, were born on June 11th. That's one adorable family. Now onto the posts you've been loving this week. Alex Rodriguez knows that good co-parents can also be good workout partners. He gave his ex-wife Cynthia some props after a recent gym session, reposting an Instagram story of her helping to ice his leg while calling her a world-class mommy. They split in 2008 and share 2 teen daughters. And Kendall Jenner is marking 1 year with NBA player Devin Booker. She shared 2 rare photos of them snuggling to celebrate, while Devin posted 3 of his own with the captions 365, 52, and 1 in honor of the number of days, weeks, and years they've spent together so far. And Bindi Irwin took us down memory lane as she twinned with her baby girl, Grace Warrior. She shared this photo of her 2-month-old wrapped up in a hooded towel and paired it with a throwback of herself as a baby, bundled up after a bath and being held by her mom, Terry. Bindi put it best, like mama, like daughter. In this week's issue of People, we are celebrating 100 Reasons to Love America.
Guys, I'm gonna ask this one more time. Who's on the cover?
Yes, American superstar Dwayne Johnson is #1 on the list. But what's his favorite thing about America?
Her resiliency. And she stumbles, and sometimes she gets taken down to her knees. But it's that incredible, one-of-a-kind DNA and constitution that she has, that our country has, that allows her to take a deep breath, gather her composure, and get right back up again.
Dwayne's next movie is even based on an iconic American amusement ride, Disney's Jungle Cruise.
It was such a phenomenal experience.
Careful, they could smell fear.
I am not afraid.
To see all of this year's 100 Reasons to Love America, pick up this week's People out Friday. All right, now let's move on to some screen time. I'm so excited to be joined now by Oliver Hudson, who is opening up about his fitness journey to get in shape using the virtual fitness coaching app Future, which pairs you with a trainer to keep you accountable.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how gross was my body?
To be honest, it was better than I expected. I'm still not going to go above a 5, but it was better than I expected.
For these final 5 minutes of the show, I'm going to ask you 5 questions. For question number 1, you have to give me 1 answer. For question number 2, you have to give me 2 answers, and so on. Let's get started. Your mom is, of course, the iconic Goldie Hawn, and she was on the cover of our beautiful issue last year alongside your sister Kate and your niece Ronnie, and Kate said that your mom is her greatest cheerleader. So I would love to know, what is one piece of advice that your mom has given you over the years that has had a lasting impact?
She's my teacher, she's my therapist. She just encompasses everything. Well, just a big piece of advice is do what you love. It's simple, because happiness comes from nothing other than being content with what you are doing with your life. My mom was my therapist for an hour yesterday, talking me off ledges.
It's often said that getting in shape is not just about working out, but also about what you put into your body. So what are 2 food items that you've scaled back on that you miss the most?
Oh, ice cream, for sure. And just pasta. Those are the things that I've had to cut out. My mom, more advice from her is an 80-20 lifestyle. 80% let's be healthy, and then that 20%, let's go crazy. With this app, you have your trainer, you have your coach, who, even if you only have 15 minutes during the day, can comprise a workout for you to get something in.
I'm gonna keep getting shredded, so shredded that wheat will be jealous.
Don't be afraid to get butt-ass naked and just flex in the mirror and love your progress.
How often do you do that?
Oh, a lot.
You posted on your Instagram about how much you love being a dad. So what are your 3 favorite things about being a dad right now?
Number 1 is my kids are getting older.
I love you. Hey, I love you.
I just love their maturity and being able to have different, more meaningful, deeper conversations with them. Number 2 is their humor, watching their humor develop, and us all being on the same page and laughing together. And then number 3 is just sometimes when I step back and I'm able to be the observer of my life and watching my wife with my kids and being appreciative of the health and the happiness of my family.
Is there a new activity that you love doing with your kids?
I don't know if it's an activity, but I love sneakers. And my boys and even my girl Rio, they have all become obsessed with sneakers.
And speaking of being a dad, you've got a podcast called Daddy Issues, which you host alongside your friend and sports broadcasting legend, Joe Buck, where you take an honest and unfiltered look at what it's like to be a dad today. Who are 3 guests you would love to have on the podcast?
Peyton Manning, Prince Harry.
What would be your first question for Prince Harry?
If he was able to be candid and really give the inside scoop of what it is like to grow up the way that he did, not just in the macro, but let's talk about what it's like having a father like Prince Charles and dealing with whatever that brings up. And I would love to get into that for sure. And then the 3rd one, my own dad.
You recently gave everyone a sneak peek on your Instagram of your upcoming appearance on Celebrity Family Feud. It had me thinking, what are 4 other reality shows that you would love to be a part of?
For sure, Deadliest Catch.
Let's get some!
If Anthony Bourdain was still here, I would love to tag along with him. British Bake Show.
Bake!
I watch that with my daughter all the time. I like to grill, okay? So if there's Pit Masters, I'll go on Pit Masters. How about that?
On top of everything else you have going on, you also host a podcast alongside your sister Kate called Sibling Revelry, where you talk about all things family.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying, but at the time, you didn't know unconsciously that you were blaming me in a sense.
Of course.
That's an interesting...
Right, but it's your fault.
Now, it's very clear you and Kate are close and share a special bond. What are 5 things you love about having Kate as your sister?
Number 1 is her confidence. She's got that thing, her fearlessness, the way that she navigates being a mom of 3 children with 3 different men. Her humor, we connect on a deep place when it comes to what we think is funny.
Hey, so I'm just trying to figure out what you're doing.
Her toughness, honestly, she's tough.
Who do you think's funnier between you two?
Oh, me. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Look, Kate's got fame and she's got money and she's got 1,000 brands and you know, she's ruling the world, but I need something, all right?
Oliver, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone, be sure to follow along with Oliver's fitness journey using the Future app on his Instagram page. All right, time's up. See you next Thursday.